What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about how to build the ultimate overlanding rig while sticking to a budget. It's raining outside, but I decided I wouldn't let that stop me from filming this video today because I'm just so excited to talk about it with you guys. So let's dive right in. Overlanding, vehicle-based travel, or just more aggressive car camping can be a very, very expensive hobby. So I wanted to steer you guys in the direction while really maximizing your dollar in sticking to a budget. I am going to approach this video, this showcase, and just kind of philosophy conversation from the perspective of my rig and just show you guys what I've done with my considerations, my needs. I am not an outfitter. I don't outfit vehicles, although I have worked on and built out an FJ Cruiser previously, learned a lot of lessons there, but this vehicle is my only vehicle that I use for car camping, overlanding. But essentially, I just wanted to disclose that this is a sample of one, my only vehicle, built to address the things that I need and want in a vehicle while sticking to a budget. Most of the stuff I purchased with my own money. Some stuff has been sent out to me, so I will make sure to disclose what items have been sent to me for free. Before we dive into the rig, the build, and how to do it yourself on a budget, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Aura. Once you're done watching this video, I would encourage you to look up your name, maybe your address online, and you might be surprised that your name, address, other private information like your health records, relative information, that stuff's not as private as you might have thought. It turns out that data brokers sell your info to spammers, scammers, and anyone on the internet who could have every intention of targeting you. That's why I've chosen the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Aura identifies all of the data brokers that have my information and automatically submits opt-out requests on my behalf. You guys may have heard of a recent story. AT&T had 73 million plus customer records, both previous customers and current customers, leaked onto the dark web. For those impacted, AT&T recommended that you use strong passwords, monitor your account activity, and sign up for fraud alerts with the credit bureaus. Well, I don't want to waste my valuable time getting all my digital ducks in a row just because a company decided not to keep my information safe. And while Aura saves me time from annoying things like spam, they also protect me from the very real risk of hackers trying to hijack my social media accounts, bank accounts, and other private information. I'm not usually an advocate of outsourcing you and your family's protection, but when it comes to the digital world, I think that's a very different animal. That's why I trust the experts over at Aura. I value my privacy, and if you value yours, you can go to aura.com/KoreanMarksman to start your free 2-week trial today. The link is also in the description below. So for the mods, we're gonna start kind of exterior to interior, and within that, I'm gonna try and sort of categorize them by how I would recommend them in terms of order that you might purchase them. Big thing here is that mission drives the gear. So whatever your needs are, the type of camping or overlanding that you and or your family are gonna be doing, that's really gonna drive what you need. Also, getting out there on the trails, getting out there camping, pressure testing your stuff, seeing where the failure points are, seeing where, oh crap, we really could have used, XYZ piece of gear. That's going to be a huge way for you guys to suss out what's working and what might need to be updated, improved, discarded, replaced, all that kind of stuff. Most important upgrade for your vehicle and how to do it kind of on a budget, I would say, is tires. Kind of obviously you want to be starting with a vehicle that has 4x4, four-wheel drive capabilities, all-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is going to be where you kind of want to be looking. As far as tires go, I would recommend an all-terrain. More specifically, I would recommend either the hand-cooked Dynapro AT2s or the KO2s. BF Goodrich also just released their KO3s, so if you're able to find your tire size, I would recommend going with that. Definitely look into your vehicle if you can practically do a +1, where you take the stock tire size that the vehicle ships with, you go 1 inch larger. If your tires, my tires are in inches, so I have 33 by 10.5 wrapped around 15-inch wheels. For you, like 85, 70 R16s or whatever, you're gonna have to figure out what that looks like in inches. But normally, if you +1 with the diameter of the wheel, you're not gonna run into too many issues with rubbing or weird tire tread wear, stuff like that. Once you start getting into the 2-inch and up territory, that's where you wanna look into potentially a lift kit and a body mount chop. But we're not gonna go into that today because that's not what I've done. I don't have a lift on my truck. One way to save some money on the wheel route, these wheels were the stock Toyota 15-inch wheels. They looked like crap. They were chrome, but like super rusted out and just gnarly looking, and not gnarly in a good way. So what I did is I took a wire wheel, I took some aircraft cleaner, some stripper, really cleaned down the surface, and then I applied a couple coats of black wheel paint, and now they look brand new, potentially even aftermarket. They look great. So that's a great way to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars instead of upgrading to new wheels. If you need bigger wheels, then that's a different story. You gotta just pony up and buy them, but I figured I could get away with painting them over and saving some dollars. Yeah, that's good for tires. Next, we're gonna talk about the front bumper. I would talk about it up front, but it's really pouring out right now, so you'll just have to watch some B-roll of the front bumper. If you're really trying to go budget, you can do what I did, where I welded and painted my own bumper. I got the kit from Coastal Off-Road. They gave me a discount on the product, so I still had to pay a decent amount of money for it. Definitely a product I'm willing to invest some money in. Steel armor, whether it be front bumper, rear bumper, rock sliders, it's going to increase your capabilities in terms of the kinds of terrain you can take when you're coming off a rock or you're slamming down onto things. You won't have to worry about plastic crushing. When it comes to animal strikes, you won't have to worry about your radiator getting blown up. That's a trip-ending impact. So with a deer slayer steel bumper with some bull bars, that will offer you protection against animal strikes. So that was a piece of gear that I was really interested in having. Next up, the Prinsu roof rack. That is a close second to the steel bumper, the front bumper specifically, not necessarily the rear bumper. Having a full-length roof rack, an adventure or off-road roof rack, extends your capabilities by letting you strap a lot of stuff on top of your car. You want to be conscientious about how much weight you're putting on top of the vehicle, as that shifts the center of gravity a bit higher, therefore increasing the risk of a rollover. You're able to put things like cargo boxes, rooftop tents, traction boards like I have up there, mount things to the side of it like this 270-degree awning, add light bars. Really, your capabilities are endless in terms of what you can put. You can put a spare tire up top, you can put gas cans up top, you can do so many things. Number 2 upgrade would be, this one's pretty cheap, if you have halogen bulbs on your rig, which if you're trying to build out your rig on a budget, you probably do because you probably have an older car. I would recommend swapping them out to LED bulbs. Just figure out the LED bulb size, go to oxbeam.com, and then order all of the bulbs that you need. Additionally, you might have to get an LED specific blinker or turn signal relay because LEDs draw less power. My car thought that the bulbs were dead, so whenever I would turn on my turn signal, it would do the hyper flash. Next up for upgrades, I would recommend Offroad Lights. Definitely LEDs, so go ahead and go to Oxbeam to find their catalog of stuff that you can put, whether that be mounting to your bumper, like fog lights or trail lights, an LED light bar, like a 42-incher, potentially scene lights on the side or back of your vehicle. Those are fantastic to not only light the trail ahead, when you get to the public land, wherever you're traveling and the sun is set, it really helps to be able to not only see the road, but also spot areas that might be suitable for a campsite because your lights simply travel farther, they're brighter. I did buy my own LED bulbs, but Oxbeam sent out these off-road lights to me. They're the 4-inch pods, the 3-inch light pods, and the 42-inch light bar. All fantastic ways to upgrade your vehicle. The next upgrade I want to talk about is having a winch. The reason why I placed the winch behind the light bar, the bumper, I mean, obviously you need the bumper first to mount the winch, is because it's just a little bit more spendy. What I have is the Harbor Freight Apex Badlands 12K winch, so it has 12,000 pounds worth of pulling strength. Generally, you want to take the weight of your vehicle and roughly just double that weight and then buy a winch rated for that weight. When your vehicle is stuck, there's going to be some resistance. You don't want to burn out the motor in the winch by having your rig be too heavy. You don't need a winch. You do need recovery gear, things like tow straps, things like traction boards, especially if you don't have a winch. A winch is a huge convenience item. It makes recovery easier, take less time, potentially more safe. And it's definitely an item that I appreciate having. I have had to use my winch. Even in Minnesota, I had to winch out my FJ Cruiser on a nasty trail. So additionally, you're able to winch out your friends, move like fallen trees that are blocking the way. They have a lot of use cases that you can apply them to. The next upgrade that I would recommend is having an awning. More specifically, a 270-degree awning. This one's from Top Oak. They sent this out to me for free. I'm going to be making a video on it in the future, but this thing has been freaking awesome. I'm really, really happy with the build quality, the functionality, how quick it is to deploy and to tear down. All of the little doodads that it came with, like LED light bars, tarp poles, stakes and guidelines, ratcheting straps to tension it all up, and a really high quality waterproof bag. It really just has everything that you need to get going. Top Oak also sent me their rooftop tent mounting brackets. Those brackets worked really well with my Prinsu rack. A lot of roof rack companies make their own awning brackets, but I just figured I would try Top Oak's, and they work great. They obviously also work great for their rooftop tents because that's what they were designed for. But I don't have a rooftop tent anymore, so that's what I'm stuck with right now. Could be changing in the future, hopefully. I haven't been rating the product so far, but I give the awning a lot of practicality points. If you're someone who likes to work on your vehicle like me, having this 270-degree awning on a really hot summer day with the sun out is huge. To be able to just deploy this and then you're covered in shade, whether you're building out a drawer system or cleaning out your car, sky's the limit. It's been really practical. Just here in my driveway, you can pull up to the beach, pop up the awning, throw down some folding chairs and have a picnic and be completely shaded when all of the tree spots, the shade spots are taken. And then of course, off-road on the trail, you're able to shade yourself. You're able to protect yourself from rain like I'm doing right now. So I'm able to film with Velcro lined all the way around it. That leads me to believe that you can also attach a awning room, which is essentially like a huge tent that wraps around the vehicle. So the capabilities, the practicality, it's just huge with a 270-degree awning. That is quick deploy, that can freestand, but also have tent poles come down. It's just super flexible, super versatile. I'm really happy about this one. Once you got all of this weight on your rig, your suspension might be crying. Your suspension might want help. I haven't gotten a lift kit. Not that I don't want a lift kit, it's just not right now in the financial plan. So I've had to get creative and work around that obstacle. What I've chosen to do is go to Sumo Springs. I had to buy these with my own money, which wasn't too big of a deal because they're not that expensive. I have the coil Sumo Springs that wrap around your stock OEM suspension springs. You just jack up the truck, spray them down with some soap water to get them to slide in better. And then I just slotted them in there. I did this for the back. In the front, I chose the cheaper option. They're called rubber shocks. They sell on Amazon. I also bought those. But essentially what these do is they increase the spring rate of your suspension. They allow you to load up more weight onto your vehicle while maintaining that same stance and also softening the ride a bit. In the back, I also do have black Sumo springs. I welded those on because they didn't have a mounting solution really for the 80 series Land Cruiser. When you weld them, the springs are going to fall off because the heat defeats the adhesive. So I had to put some polyurethane adhesive and just stick them back on there. It's held for a long time, over a year. I'm not worried about it at all. But that also adds and increases the amount of weight I'm able to carry in the back, which has been necessary, as you'll see when we show you the rest of the mods that add weight to your truck. I've been really happy with the Sumo Springs, with the rubber shocks. I do want a lift kit because I don't know how old my suspension is, bushings, etc., but it's just gonna have to wait for a little bit. A lot of people would recommend that the suspension, more specifically a lift kit, would be the first upgrade that you should do, just because you get more size, you get more ground clearance for adding bigger tires. And generally, I might agree with that. For my father-in-law, we put a Rough Country 3-inch lift on his 4Runner. That was the first upgrade that we did to his truck, and he's super happy with it. He wants to do bigger tires, a steel bumper, a roof rack, that kind of stuff later down the road. But again, depending on your priorities, your needs, you're gonna have to gauge whether that be your first upgrade or even an upgrade you do at all for yourself. Next up, we have a tire carrier. I built this myself. I welded it together. I bought the steel, measured everything out. This wasn't a kit or anything. I just did it myself. My father-in-law helped me correct it, make it a little bit stronger. So this is kind of the version 2 of the video that I made on it. It allows you to take your spare tire up from underneath the vehicle to having it much more easily accessible. If you pop your tire on the trail, if you get stuck, blah, 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 it might be inaccessible. You might be, there might be a boulder underneath there. You might not want to be rolling around in the mud to drop your tire. And so it's just really a lot more convenient to have the tire here. It makes tire rotations a lot easier. I rotate all 5 of my tires. Put it on the left-hand side because that's the proper side. When you're looking back, checking your rear view, you don't want the tire to be blocking your visual. Oh.
Baby bomb. Boop.
For rear swing out kits or bumpers, even they make kits that mount up to like a hitch carrier, but they're really expensive. Even those ones are like $1,500. The bumpers can be anywhere between like $2,000 and $4,000 or $5,000. So I was able to do this, weld it together, paint it up for under $1,000 myself. So that's a great way to do it on a budget, but it's not necessarily an upgrade that you need, more of a convenience factor, and it looks really cool. So yeah, that wraps up the exterior. Now we can get to talking about some of the interior stuff, what I would recommend first, and then kind of go through all the different options that you have there. First, I would recommend getting WeatherTech floor mats. They just make it a lot easier for cleaning up after a trail, or just, you know, everyday use if you daily drive your rig. If you care about your rig, just get some WeatherTech mats. Don't cheap out on those. Some other hugely important considerations to make is medical, specifically stop the bleed kits. Things where if you have a laceration or an arterial bleed, you're able to not die. So I have tourniquets easily accessible. One kind of down here, if you guys can see that. And then luckily my truck, everything's carpet. So even on the side by this console area here, everything's carpet on the side. So I'm able to easily stick on Velcro, Fieldcraft Survival, which I also bought. Medical kits on the side, and I have a fire extinguisher nearby. Especially when you're messing with your battery. The risk of a fire is scary and can be very real, so having a way to put out fires is very important. Especially because when you're camping too, you're gonna intentionally make fires to stay warm, have camp treats, cook food, do whatever. All right guys, this one's much more of a convenience item, but I would recommend having a CarPlay head unit if your vehicle doesn't. This just makes it easier to drive places, navigate, respond to messages while being hands-free. And it looks great. It looks awesome. It makes your car feel like it's a little bit newer than it might be, because mine is 32 years old. Next, inside the vehicle, I would recommend finding ways to creatively extend your storage capabilities. Things like this is the HFAB tailgate storage mod. Allows me to pop it open, throw things in here. I'll go more in depth about what I actually have in here in a truck EDC video. So I'm not going to show you the contents too deeply today. Hurricane Fabrication sent me this tailgate storage unit for free. So I just wanted to disclose that to you guys. I've been loving it so much, and I've had it for about a year now. But finding ways to maximize internal storage or storage where things are contained so that you don't have to throw things in a bag, tie down a bag, it makes life a lot easier. Drawer system too, that is huge. I love this thing so much. Depending on how long your vehicle's like trunk space is, the Land Cruiser is even longer than a 4Runner, so I get a lot of space for long drawers. You're able to put a lot of stuff in here. Things like recovery gear, winter clothes, kitchen stuff, truck guns, any convenience items that you might want. It's really awesome to have that capability. Oftentimes, storage solutions run anywhere from $1,000 and up for your like custom for your vehicle stuff. But I was able to just make my own, did the measurements, bought some plywood. There are lots of instructional videos out there on how to do that. Measure 3 times, cut once. That's my big advice. But I was able to do it for under $300. And last but not least, for internal storage, and I guess for the full video, is gonna be a fridge. I have a fridge on the way. It's coming in the mail, and I'm very excited about it. It is from Vevor. They're a budget-friendly company that have a wide variety of tools and accessories for off-road oriented people. That fridge and subsequent battery unit to power the fridge. This right here is my EcoFlow River 2 Max. I've been loving this thing. I've had it for about 6 months now. That's gonna be able to keep all of your food cold for camping trips, but also if you have leftovers and it's hot out, or if you have groceries and you want to go somewhere after, you don't want to go back home, you can put your refrigerated stuff in the fridge. You can chill some beers for picnics. Again, outside of off-roading, it's a very convenient thing to have. Bolted down on top of my drawers, I have this fridge slide from Rough Country. This is a more budget-friendly fridge slide, but it doesn't sacrifice in quality and performance. The only downside is it doesn't tilt. Some fridge slides come out and then drop down, so that it's easier to grab the stuff at the bottom of the fridge. This one just slides straight out, and you'll have to kind of reach up and over to grab the stuff inside. One potential issue I might run into is if the fridge is too tall, I might have trouble getting it actually open with where the tailgate is here, but we'll figure that issue out if it becomes problematic. Looking forward to actually show you guys the fridge in the future in my truck EDC video. Guys, I believe that wraps it up. There's no real right or wrong way to do an Overland rig, unless you're doing it unsafely. Then it is definitely wrong. A lot of this comes from trial and error, figuring out what you actually want versus what you might think you want because you saw an influencer using this thing and, oh, that product looks super cool. Try not to get caught up in that kind of buying frenzy. It doesn't really serve you long term. Really just go to the drawing board, figure out your needs, figure out what you really want, the problems that you're facing, and then kind of reverse engineer from there on solutions, capabilities, or upgrades. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this helped. I hope some of these insights might have been useful for you, and that you guys can kind of pick and choose, throw these on to what you're hoping to accomplish with your rig. I'm gonna get inside. Stay dry, guys. We'll see you in the next video.